Hey everybody, this is the real BeanJr here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to set up MKW-ANA. Basically explain to you guys what it is, why you should set it up, and how it could be useful. And I'm going to be doing it on Windows, because Lazarete basically made a thread on We Homebrew, and I thought I'd make it into a video form for people to easily understand. This is going to be an English tutorial, by the way. I speak no other languages, so feel free to make other language tutorials if you so please, French, German, etc., etc. So let's have an introduction of MKW-ANA. What is it? Well, MKW-ANA is something that Weem built a few years ago, maybe back in 2012 or 13, when he started to basically monitor the network traffic and wanted to know how certain things worked on the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection servers. This actually came in very, very handy when we started to build WeemFi, because it gave us all kinds of information that we wouldn't have had otherwise without MKW-ANA and packet capturing. So why would you want to use this? Well, for one thing, cheaters are still out there on WeemFi, and not everyone is able to create videos for proof and grab all the PIDs. Well, with MKW-ANA and its most recent update, it can catch cheaters, it could warn you of cheaters, and most importantly, when you send a packet capture file to a moderator at WeemFi, they'll be able to analyze it, find the cheater, and then do what appropriately needs to be done, whether it's kicking, banning, etc., etc. Now, what is required to have it set up? Well, obviously, Lazarete outlined it rather quite well. You need 3 programs. You need Wireshark, WinDump, and MKW-ANA. Now, Wireshark comes with its own installer. You can install it on your computer. I recommend installing ticking all the checkboxes in the installer. Install the PCAP driver as well if it asks you to do that. And then for the WinDump and MKW-ANA, you want to put WinDump inside of the MKW-ANA folder. So allow me to demonstrate what I'm talking about here. So here I have my MKW-ANA downloaded and extracted. Now I put WinDump inside of here, and I put a few other various files like capture.bat and start MKW-ANA.bat, which I will explain in a moment. So once you've installed all the software, followed all the instructions on this thread, which I will have in the description by the way, you want to go to step 2. Step 2 is basically adding a second IP address to your network interface card on your computer. This is actually very, very simple and easy to do. I'm using Windows 7, but if you're running another operating system, then a lot of the steps are fairly similar here when we get into the TCP/IP version 4. So what you want to do is go to your Start menu and start typing in the search bar View Network Connections. Go ahead and click on this and open up your Network Connections view. Now find your network connection of choice, so mine's a local area network. Double click on that. And then once you're in your network connection properties, click on the properties button here. And then go down to Internet Protocol version 4 and then click properties. And here what you want to do is assign yourself a static IP address, and then you also want to set your DNS server as well. If you don't know what to put in to your static IP address, you want to do an ipconfig in a command prompt window. So to do this, hold down Windows and hit the R key, and then type in CMD. Once CMD is opened up, type in ipconfig, and usually you'll see these 3 lines here. These 2 lines are actually what we're going to be adding in a minute or so, but this IPv4 address, subnet mask, and default gateway is all you really want to worry about. Now as for your DNS server, you have plenty of options. You can either use Google's DNS server, or if your router has a DNS server or you have a dedicated DNS server on your network, you can also use that too. Now there is no need to put an alternative DNS server in here, but if you really want to, you can go ahead and do that. Now go to Advanced, and here's where we're going to add our second IP address. So for consistency's sake, you want to click on add, and then put in the IP address of 172.18.84.1 with a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0, which should appear like this. So this is your main network address that you've assigned, and this is your second IP address that you've assigned. And this IP address is going to be what the Wii is going to interact with or send traffic to that we're going to filter out. So once you've assigned your static IP address and your secondary IP address to your network interface card, we can go ahead and close out of our properties windows. Now the next step is to enable routing from your computer. So what you want to do is open up Regedit, and in the registry editor, I do warn you that it is very dangerous to be playing around with this, so do exactly as I say. So navigate to HKey, local machine, then expand it and go to System. And by expanding, I mean click on the triangle. So see on this triangle here, I'm expanding it. So once you've expanded System, go to Current Control Set and expand that. Go to Services and expand it. And then scroll all the way down to TCP/IP, and then go to Parameters. Now you don't need to expand it, although that was what I did when I initially played around with this. So once you're in Parameters, there are two main keys that you want to modify. The Enable ICMP Redirect key usually is defaulted at 1. What you want to do is change that 1 to a 0, and then click OK. Next, go to IP Enable Router and change the 0 to a 1. Once you've done that, go ahead and reboot your computer. Once your computer has been rebooted, go to your internet browser and open it up, and go to a new tab, and then proceed to log into your router. So to do this, you want to type in your IP address of your router. So in my case, it's hello Mac, 192.168.101.100. And I realize that each router is different, but if you do have the exact same router as I do, feel free to follow along. So what you want to do is go to LAN, go to Route, and then say yes to Enable Static Routes. Now, in the host or network IP, you want to put 172.18.84.0, your subnet mask of 255.255.255.0, and your gateway of that static IP that you've assigned. So in my case, it's 192.168.101.140. Your metrics and your metrics you can leave blank. I'm not exactly sure where that would come in handy. And your interface can be left at LAN. So there you go. So go ahead and click Apply. And now you've completely set up the routing aspect of your computer to send all Wii traffic to your computer. So when it hits the router, it goes to your computer, which is pretty awesome. Now the last thing that I would love to touch on here to get you all set up with Mario Kart Wii Analyzer, which is probably what MKW-ANA stands for, is I would like you guys to create 2 batch files in your MKW-ANA directory. The first batch file can be anything you want. I've called it capture.bat. And what this will do is it will open up the windump.exe, and it will capture on the interface of 1. Now that's usually the very first network interface of your computer that's currently active, I'm assuming. Now I'm not entirely sure what these other ones are here, but all I know is W, the file.eth is your packet capture file. You can name it whatever you want. On the other hand, your start MKW-ANA can be all you really have to do is just put your IP address in here. If this is not your IP address of your Wii, then you can basically change it to whatever you, want. Which brings me on another subject here, the Wii setup. So to top it off, I just want to explain to you guys how to set the Wii up on your new static route. So in your connection settings, you want to go to your connection, and there is going to be various information that's popping up on the screen here right now. You want to go to Auto Obtain IP and select No, and then go to Advanced Settings, and then put the following that's on your screen right now into your Wii. So your IP address would be 172.18.84.2, which is your Wii, and your subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, and then your default gateway is obviously 172.18.84.1. Now, obviously the DNS server will have to be configured as well, so go to the next page of your connection settings and click Auto Obtain DNS to No, and then go under Advanced Settings of that. Now, to guarantee this works, what you want to do is set your primary and secondary DNS to Google's two DNS servers, which is 8.8.8.8 and 8.8.4.4. Once you've done that, go ahead and save your settings and do a connection test. Now, the connection test should be successful. And now it also says here in the tutorial thread, for testing, you can open up Wireshark and then start capturing. And then for the filter, put this as the filter. And you'll see that the Wii is doing connection tests based on this contest.nintendowifi.net. So you'll know if everything has gone according to plan. So that is basically a summary of how to set up MKW-ANA. I apologize if this video took so long, but this is a very complicated subject, and I wanted to make sure you guys got the best possible tutorial out there. Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching, and if you have any questions or whatever, please write them down in the comment section below. If you thought this video was helpful, please click the thumbs up button, and if you would like to see more videos from me, if you like my videos and the content that I produce, please smash that subscribe button right now. You will not regret it. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you all in the next video.